Good afternoon, and welcome to NCIA's Industry Essentials Educational Webinars, our premier digital educational platform featuring a variety of interactive educational programming to provide you timely, engaging, and essential educational content when and where your team needs it most. My name is Brian Gilbert, the Deputy Director here of Events of NCIA, and I'm very excited to welcome you all to another special edition of our Service Solutions series today, being hosted by the team from PeopleGuru Cannabiz. One final note before we kick things off to all of our guests who are joining us for the live stream currently on our Facebook page. Make sure to follow that short link that you see there in the video description to secure a spot in today's session directly inside of the Zoom platform so you don't miss out on all the interactive elements surrounding today's programming. All right, well, let's get this show on the road. In today's program, presented by PeopleGuru and entitled, Is Your Current Payroll Provider Cannabis Compliant? Our dynamic panel of experts will take an in-depth look at the challenges that many cannabis companies face when it comes to banking, compliance, and payroll processing. Along the way, they'll discuss how their all-in-one, cannabis-friendly, human capital management solution is helping mid-market companies overcome payroll and workforce challenges. You'll leave today's session with a better understanding of that solution, backed by full banking services that can ensure smooth payroll processing and offer agile tools that support a growing workforce. Well, I know our panel is eager to dive into this discussion, and our audience is interested in having their questions answered along the way. So to kick things off, I'd like to welcome our moderator for today's session, Ali Edwards, the marketing manager with PeopleGuru, to the virtual stage to kick things off by introducing our panel of cannabis payroll and compliance specialists. Welcome to NCIA Industry Essentials. Great to have you all here today, Ali and Steve. You all can activate your all's video feeds as you just did and take it away from here.
All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you, NCIA, for having us here today. I'm really excited about this opportunity. For today's agenda, we are going to start off by giving you a little background of PeopleGuru, our technology, our services, and how we help the cannabis community. Then we'll dive into a demo of employee self-service, followed up with some Q&A, give you a little overview of manager self-service with some questions, and then a little kick off some HR and payroll demo. During this presentation, there will be some polls, so we encourage you to participate in those. And also we love questions, so please use the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen and we will answer any and all questions during the presentation. So with that being said, Steve, our Chief Revenue Officer of PeopleGuru, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Brian. And we are very grateful to NCIA to have us as a guest speaker today. A little introduction to PeopleGuru. So we are an HR payroll talent management software provider that focuses on high growth mid-market organizations. We serve clients across multiple industries, but we have a primary focus on servicing the cannabis space. Now, let's start with some of the challenges that our solution is really geared around, and that's to really solve some of these business challenges that the cannabis industry specifically is facing. One, legally paying its people. Major challenge for the cannabis space. And with PeopleGuru, we eliminate the challenges associated with paying people in cash with an automated process and traditional banking options. Now, payroll companies are dropping cannabis clients from their client list, and this is happening consistently. We get a ton of calls every single week from cannabis organizations that have been dropped by major brands. PeopleGuru has made a tremendous commitment. We started this journey about 2 years ago to serve the cannabis space, and this has now become our primary vertical. Now, securing a banking relationship, often that's difficult enough for traditional operations. Nonetheless, securing a banking relationship that will manage the compliance associated with ACH and paying people. PeopleGuru, we offer full service banking options. So we have a cannabis-friendly banking partner, and we can support all of our cannabis clients at a national level. Growing out of the system. So there are some players that serve the space. Most of them really serve small business cannabis clients. So we often hear that though they might have been able to get payroll done they don't have the capabilities to deal with a lot of onboarding and high growth and multi-tax ID structures and so forth. With PeopleGuru, this solution really was designed for companies between 100 employees and 3,000 employees. So you really will never outgrow the PeopleGuru technology and service model. Now, in the industry of cannabis specifically, we often see complex org structures, multi-state operations. We see multiple companies and complex hierarchies. This is a challenge to support the cannabis operation. PeopleGuru, when we designed this platform many years ago, it really was designed to handle those unique complexities around multi-tax structures. In fact, we have the capability of processing payroll across multiple tax ID numbers in one pay group, which we see quite often in the cannabis space. And then lastly, really being serviced effectively and working with a partner that understands the unique challenges associated with a seed to shelf type of operation. With PeopleGuru, we have a dedicated support team, highly schooled on the needs of cannabis, and we really never leave a client feeling left behind or without access, direct access to a seasoned guru. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about kind of really how we're helping our clients. So our focus is always to help our HR leaders to focus on their people and less on the payroll and HR operations. So in an industry now that's fighting for talent, we want to free up our people, our clients, from the paper processes often associated with a complex workforce. Achieving the HR agility that our cannabis clients need to adapt to the climate, to expansion, and the type of the dynamic workforce that they're working with. So our HR leaders are always seeking an agile solution, and PeopleGuru is incredibly agile to help them achieve those objectives. Maintaining compliance and mitigating the risk associated with being out of compliance. So this is broader than just payroll processing. We're dealing with tax filing, 280E reporting, and a slew of other HR compliance requirements. PeopleGuru really steps in and provides that layer of security around mitigating those risks. In a complex dynamic workforce with multiple operations, again, seed to shelf, collaborating and engaging with your people. You would find in the PeopleGuru technology, we have the ability to deliver a social collaboration platform to help as well. And then we think about recruitment, attracting and retaining and developing. PeopleGuru solution absolutely helps our clients achieve those objectives as well. Visibility to workforce trends and reporting, and then ultimately the boosting of productivity. A little bit about the platform now, as we move on to the next slide. So with PeopleGuru, we deliver a single platform architecture for complete employee lifecycle management. So from everything from recruiting through onboarding to core HR, benefit management, open enrollment, payroll processing, time and labor, scheduling capabilities, expense management reporting, performance management, salary and learning are all deliverables on a single platform with proprietary technology developed by PeopleGuru. Additionally, we step in for all of the administrative functions that you would often see in the back office payroll operations. So this would be tax filing payments, third-party garnishment payments, e-verify if required by your organization, all the year-end W-2, 1094, 1095 processing. PeopleGuru manages that for you. And then your traditional ACH banking, check printing and distribution, as well carrier connections for enrollment in benefits, or for that matter, really any third-party carrier that you're working with. And that all sits on top of an architecture that's very modern, full SaaS-based solutions, single database, incredible security. We deliver this solution with native mobile apps, with self-service capability, notifications and alerts, complex workflows, and intense analytics, so you can have access to the meaningful data to make important business decisions. And then as we kind of started this discussion, this huge challenge around compliant banking. So PeopleGuru does offer, again, full service banking that complies with the FinCEN guidelines. and it's part of the Safe Harbor Banking Network. Our banking partner, along with PeopleGuru, we conduct audits per client to ensure complete compliance, quite frankly. And then this is for ACH processing for payroll and tax deposits. And we also assign compliance consultants to help our clients as well.
All right, so we are going to kick off, the NCI team is going to kick off the first poll. And the first question is, what was the first US state to ban cannabis over a century ago? So please submit your answers and we'll share the results.
All right, get those responses in, everybody. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, make sure to respond to every one of these polls that you see pop up under your screen to be entered into a random contest to win a month of NCIA membership. We're hovering right underneath 50%. Let's get 2 or 3 more responses in there. All right. Okay, coming up on 30 seconds now. Perfect. All right. Thank you all so much for the participation there. Let's share the results with our panel.
All right, so the correct answer is actually California. California was the first state to ban cannabis. It actually did not become recreationally legal until 2016. So a little interesting fact there. So we are now going to jump into the demo of employee self-service. So Steve, take it away.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Ellie.
We're going to log into PeopleGuru Employee Self-Service as Brandon Myers. PeopleGuru Self-Service is completely mobile responsive and delivered with native mobile apps with dual-level security authentication. Where Brandon lands in the system can be determined by the administrator, or Brandon himself can actually determine what's best for his user experience. I have my system defaulted to checking in, and punching out, and recording my time. The system is multilingual. It will pair to over 80 different languages. We have some traditional menu items up top. All these are highly configurable. We're going to hit on a few of those as we go through the presentation. In addition to a PC entry, desktop entry for time reporting, PeopleGuru does deliver a native mobile app. We also deliver kiosk capabilities with biometric, card scanners, facial recognition, and also a touchless option. So Brandon might be working at one of the retail operations this week, and Brandon can simply check in, record his time appropriately. Or if I was going to transfer, I actually can transfer to an alternative location. So maybe I'm moving from the South Tampa location to the North Tampa location. I also can change what department I might be in. Maybe I'm in production or maybe I'm in retail sales during this pay cycle. All of that is accessible through PeopleGuru. So we have multiple labor segments, all of that can funnel through the payroll and general ledger. As well, this is how we help our cannabis clients handle the 280E reporting. We'll pop out of this. In addition to recording time in this fashion, under our pay tab, we do have visibility to the time card. So if you choose to make the time card available to your employees, this can be an option. It could be editable or just view only. In addition to the time card, PeopleGuru does offer a full scheduling solution. This is a dynamic scheduling solution where an employee can find open shifts, drop a shift, do a shift swap, etc. All of that is capabilities delivered with PeopleGuru. As well, I can record my time off request. I can simply go out in time and identify where I want to take time and submit this request for approval. I just finalize my time off here. We're always showing the balances to the employee as well. In addition to my time recording and scheduling, I do have my paycheck data, as you'd expect in any good, robust HCM system. We also capture W-2s and the ability to afford Brandon the opportunity to update the W-4. We utilize the same technology for the updating of the W-4 as we do during an onboarding experience. PeopleGuru is responsible for making sure that you have all the most current tax forms loaded within PeopleGuru to ensure you are staying compliant. So we're here in the Pay tab. We have a few other functions that we want to chat about. First, let's go to the profile. So Brandon has a lot of content that is unique to his person record. In addition to your core data, we have performance management within PeopleGuru, any kind of performance plan, improvement plan, as well any other traditional assessments that you might be managing to. We also have Brandon's net pay data. Brandon can manage their net pay, edit the net pay, submit a direct deposit change. All of that could be tied to a transaction approval as well. We always are encouraging our clients to manage their documents through a 100% paperless experience. So you'll see here Brandon's W-4 is completed online, as well Brandon's I-9 also sits there as well. We have no limit to the number of documents. So each employee, depending upon their job or their position or even their location, can have a different onboarding document set. From our person record, PeopleGuru does offer a communication platform for your employees. It's very much like an Instagram feed or Facebook feed where the company can communicate to their workforce or manager downline to their employees. Communication could be sent to the news feed within PeopleGuru. As well, it could be sent via email and text. Embedded in that communication could be hot links directly to the action item. For example, benefit enrollment. This really drives efficiency for employees and consistency on utilization. And so the news feed will pair to really any mobile device, accessible through native mobile apps, and any communication that's sent to the news feed also could be sent by email and text. We have a company tab where you might see organizational charts, company locations, employee directories. All that is available through PeopleGuru HCM. Lastly, let's take a look at benefit enrollment. PeopleGuru does deliver a fully unified, fully integrated benefit management open enrollment technology. This is proprietary technology to PeopleGuru. A real simple process for Brandon to elect the appropriate benefits. You can manage relationships. Any documents that are required for signature can be loaded in the system as well. Then the system will present the appropriate plans to Brandon. We really have not seen a benefit plan that we cannot accommodate. We have tremendous utilization in our benefit management technology across our client base. So Brandon will make the selections appropriately. You will see his total cost. You can see monthly or an annual. It's pretty much battle-proof, meaning that if I'm Brandon and I go ahead into the system to elect my PPO and I happen to have clicked on employee plus spouse, the system will recognize that I don't have a dependent or a relationship in the system that would identify that I do have a spouse. So this is how you really cut down on those front-end errors that cause HR problems on the back end. I have a comparison tool. Brandon can see a comparison on the plan options as well. This is all controlled by our HR payroll leaders within our client base. Once I'm good with my elections, I'll come in and see what I've elected, and I can see my wave coverage. If I'm good at this point, I just sign off, check the box, and sign off on my benefit elections. At that point, the benefit administrators, HR departments will be notified of those changes in elections. They'll approve those elections, and we will then move the data, if this service is selected, to the carriers appropriately for adds, deletes, and open enrollment. Once you make your election, Brandon would get a report, an email communication as well. He as well can come in and take a look at his elected benefits, all within the PeopleGuru system. So that concludes our employee self-service presentation of PeopleGuru HCM. Thank you for your time.
All right, perfect. Well, Ali, you can take it from here.
All right, so please submit your questions to the Q&A. We have one already in here. Are you able to do direct deposits for cannabis companies?
Yeah, it's a great question. And the answer is absolutely yes. As long as our clients in cannabis are banked, so you do need to have a banking relationship, but as long as you are banked, PeopleGuru can support your payroll processing through a traditional ACH transaction? Great question.
Okay. And then we also have some questions in the chat box here that came in one-on-one. And this question says, do you provide the hardware to collect the time?
Yes, absolutely. So if you choose to have a hardware device like a kiosk, PeopleGuru does provide the hardware, and we do that. We handle that model as hardware as a service, so you don't have to actually purchase the equipment. Very much like software as a service, it's just delivered as hardware as a service. And that's a fantastic question. It is proprietary technology with PeopleGuru. Fundamentally, it's a Microsoft Surface tablet in an encasement that can be mounted on the wall, could be freestanding, and does accommodate biometrics, facial recognition, touchless, punch, and all of the kind of cool things that we're seeing in a modern day technology deliverable. Excellent question. Thank you.
Okay, next question. We have a few employees in Canada. How is that handled?
Yeah, I would love to tell you that I'm processing payroll in Canada today. The answer is that actually that I don't currently. We do have some partners that we turn to introduce our cannabis clients to, so they can get payroll processed in Canada. We actually have it on the product roadmap. So we're hoping here within the next 6 months, we'd be able to address your Canadian needs as well.
Okay, and then you mentioned it is scalable and easily supports clients who go from 100 to 3,000 employees. Do you support smaller clients with, for example, 40 employees total?
Yeah, that's what's really unique about the cannabis space. Typically in PeopleGuru's past, we would not actually engage with a client with under 100 employees. But if the client is under 100 employees and they have a growth plan and they are going to achieve that growth within a period of 6, 12 months, 24 months, we will actually onboard that client and work with them to help them achieve those objectives. So the answer is yes, as long as they intend to see their organization grow. If you're going to be stable at around 50 employees for quite some time, we're probably a little overkill. But if you are going to achieve those objectives, then we would be a great partner for you.
Okay. And do you have employees in California?
So PeopleGuru does support California clients. So we have a slew of clients in California today that are cannabis customers.
And then one more question just came in. Is there a limit to the amount of benefit plans you can offer in the system?
Yeah, fantastic question. The answer is absolutely no. So since our clients are mid-market organizations, we've never really seen a benefit plan that we can't accommodate, or nor is there a limit to the number of benefit plans that you can offer on the PeopleGuru platform. Again, we're not in the insurance business, so we're agnostic. We have partners to help our clients find the right benefit plans, but we can support as many benefit plans as you desire to deliver to your people.
And the follow-up question was, does the system communicate with benefit carriers?
The answer is yes. So we will manage all the carrier connections, regardless of your group size. So we do all of that electronically, and we take care of that for you. It's part of our administrative service offering.
I think that's all of the questions that we have for this segment. So the NCI team wants to kick off our next poll. Our next question is, what % of HR departments experience problems with gathering and analyzing data due to poorly integrated systems?
All
So
right.
go ahead and mark your answers.
Perfect. Love the engagement coming in a lot quicker than last time. So thanks everybody for getting those responses in. Don't miss your chance to win a free month of NCIA membership. There's a ton of opportunities to make use of all those benefits over the next few weeks and months. All right, let's get one more. There we go. Perfect. All right. End that poll and share the results for our panel. There you go, Allie.
All right, so the answer is actually 96%. So 96% of HR departments experience problems with gathering data. So companies that use a solution for payroll, time and labor, performance management, these systems that aren't talking to each other can make creating reports and compliance very challenging and cumbersome tasks. So with that being said, we are going to go into manager self-service now.
Now let's log into PeopleGuru HCM as a supervisor and manager. We'll utilize the role from Manny Ortiz. Many will be taken to the dashboard within PeopleGuru. This is where we embed shortcuts, really hot links to everyday functions to drive user adoption and efficiency for supervisors and managers. We have the traditional menu items off to the left, which we'll cover a few of those. Up top, I have my personal action forms. So often we'll see in mid-market high growth companies the need to automate the request for a position change or a promotion or opening a rec or even terminating one of the team members. These are all online events which convert you from a paper-based process to 100% paperless experience. So I could take Brandon Myers. I might want to replace Brandon's current position. Maybe I want to make Brandon head of technology. I can tell the folks in the hierarchy, I want this to be effective on the 30th in the location of the corporate office and the department under information technology. This is a dynamic screen. So our clients will work with us to determine what they want to capture at the supervisor level when this request is initiated. So we'll go ahead and hit save here. And this will make its way through the PeopleGuru workflow and end up in the inbox of the next person in line. In addition to receiving notifications of any action item that I need to take on my news feed or my communication portal, you see that here. Here's a notification that there's a position change that has been denied. So those types of communications do make their way to the news feed in email and text. But if I'm in my dashboard, I may simply click on action items. My action items will show me my tasks pending, tasks past due, and my submitted tasks. Simply clicking on that, I can see what I've submitted, and you can see a bunch of wage adjustments and position changes, all of that sitting out there. And there's that position transfer that I just initiated for Brandon Myers. So all my action items, again, are sitting on my dashboard with a simple click to taking action on any one of these events. Now let's go deeper into some of our time card reviews. PeopleGuru, again, delivers a fully integrated time and labor solution, and we always are focusing on making it really easy for the supervisor and managers to review and approve time cards. So I've got some shortcuts here. Again, these are highly configurable. I'm going to simply click on my time card reviews. And this is where I can go into any specific pay period or week and view a specific time card. And for Jeremiah, this is my current week. And I see that I have clearly some items that need to be addressed as Jeremiah hasn't recorded any time. But if I want to go in and actually take a look at a dashboard and look at that data where I want to just view the exceptions for the pay cycle, this is where I would do that as well. So by just clicking on the exceptions, I have 6:15. I can see that Brandon forgot to punch out on this date. And so I've got my missing outs, and I can address those missing outs right here. So always trying to drive adoption. One thing about the time card that I didn't mention is that we can capture data and labor across 8 different labor segments. So if folks are moving from one department, one location, different cost centers, all of that could be recorded through time and labor. So that's going back to my dashboard. So we have our time card reviews as well. Now, we do have a full scheduling solution, so this is where Manny can set up his schedule. Manny will pick from his direct reports and can build the schedule on the fly. So I'm currently in the week of June 14th to June 20th. If I want to modify this schedule, I can simply come in and modify the schedule. I can delete it. I can copy the schedule, and maybe I want to post this schedule somewhere else. I can simply just paste it there as well. I can change the structure to the labor segments. I can do all of that on the fly as well. If I'm not happy with it, I can just simply delete it. So I've got my schedule here. We do, again, have a dynamic scheduling solution where we can create open shifts, publish those schedules. If I want to go to the next week, maybe, and see if I have a schedule loaded. If I haven't loaded a schedule, we can come in and we can take a schedule from the prior week and we can copy the previous week. So it's that easy to kind of replicate an existing schedule or modify a schedule. We can change the time we can change the time of the schedule as well. We can do that on the fly. If we click on the data, we can get into more detail here, so we can change the shift, and we can do all of that as well within the technology. Additionally, if we want to attach requirements to a specific shift, so if I have to have a horticultural license, a certification, then I can actually make that a requirement for me to pick up that shift and work that schedule. All of that is accommodated within PeopleGuru scheduling. Okay, so we took a look at time approvals, personal action forms. We looked at our dashboards. And then lastly, we have all of our employee data. So with our HR leaders, we will determine what supervisors can and cannot see. This is 100% configurable. You can get even more granular, go into the detail records. Again, if your role or your security permits you to have access to that level of data, the system will know you can do so as well. I also have the ability under reporting to export and manage that data. So depending upon my role in security, we'll have a series of reports that may be available to the specific user of the system. And that is all designed to map out to the appropriate user security role. Okay, so that concludes our self-service experience from a manager's perspective.
Okay, thank you, Steve. We are now going back into the questions, so please submit your questions into the Q&A box. We do have some more coming through in the chat here. So the first question, do managers also have access to employee self-service?
Yes, absolutely. So again, every manager utilizes one user ID and passcode, and they only have to log in one time, and they can toggle between employee self-service and management self-service once they're credentialed.
Okay. Next question. Can a manager create schedules for multiple locations?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, absolutely. We didn't touch on it in demo, but you can filter out and assign schedules by locations, departments, really any of the labor segments. You actually can do that. So what we do is we actually create these templates. Those templates are designed in such a way they could be assigned to, again, different departments or different locations, etc. So the answer is yes to that.
Okay. Next question is, can a workflow go to more than one person automatically?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. You wouldn't often find a multi-layer workflow solution in many payroll platforms, but with PeopleGuru, again, because it is designed for mid-market, there is no limit to the number of workflow items or steps within a workflow. So there is no limit, and it could be a multi-layer workflow approval process.
Okay. Next question is, we have a group of employees that require specific licenses or certifications. Does the system track these?
Yes, actually, standard feature within our core HR capabilities is the tracking of certs and licenses. Those can be uploaded by your people directly. It can be uploaded and loaded in by HR as well. And we attach issue dates and expiration dates, so that way the system alerts you automatically when there might be expiring certs or licenses like horticultural, etc. We keep track of those licenses, and we alert the appropriate users when those licenses are expiring or the certifications are expiring. Great question.
Okay, and here's another one. Can employees pick up, change, swap a shift themselves within the self-service area?
Yes, actually, self-service is designed within time and labor for an employee to either drop a shift and make that available, as well pick up an open shift. Typically, when they drop a shift, there's a workflow for the approval of that. Once approved by a supervisor, that shift then becomes available for the rest of the workforce, that might be eligible. And we actually do require certain skills often. So sometimes when you make an open shift available, it requires certain credentials, certain skills. So our system actually will manage to the appropriate skills, certs, or licenses for you to even be able to pick up a shift that you would be inherently eligible for. It's an excellent question.
Okay, and going off of that, will management be sent a notification or an alert that some type of change has been made.
Yes, that's an automatic notification that would make its way into a manager's inbox, whether it be email, text, or again, the news feed within PeopleGuru.
Okay, good. And one more, can reports be scheduled to be delivered to managers on a regular basis without having HR manually send them?
I'm sorry, Ellie, can you ask me that question again?
Can reports be scheduled to be delivered to managers on a regular basis?
Yes, so not only do our standard reports, you have the ability to schedule standard reports, but ad hoc reports as well can be scheduled through our schedule.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have for this segment. So NCIA team, if you want to launch the last poll, second last poll, how many full-time jobs are there in the cannabis industry?
All right. Perfect. Get those responses in. Appreciate all the continued engagement with our live polling throughout today's interactive educational content, as well as all the participation with the Q&A board inside of the chat window. So thank you again to Shannon for posting during that last segment. Let's get 2 more responses in. Don't be shy. All right, let's do it. Coming up on 30 seconds. All right, you're going to do it for me. Okay, we got 66% here. So here you go. I'll share the results with you, Allie. Take it away.
Okay, so the answer is actually 321,000, the cannabis employees, full-time employees. So this number is growing year after year. We see it with our clients. We've had clients grow from 100 employees to a couple hundred employees in a matter of months or in a matter of a year. So it's a very booming industry, and we expect it to continue to grow. So now we are going to go into the demo of HR and payroll.
Okay, let's log into PeopleGuru HCM as a payroll HR enterprise leader. Where I land in the system can be predetermined at the admin level or at the user level, just like we saw in ESS and MSS. I have my system defaulting me to my core dashboards, those dashboards that are very meaningful and will help drive productivity for someone in my role. We'll highlight a couple of these items as well. You see the complexity or comprehensiveness of our menu items off to the left. So now we have way more capabilities and functionality available to us. And we're going to visit some of those items as well. Earlier as a manager, we saw our dashboards that took us to our action items. Very similar. We have our dashboard at the payroll HR enterprise level. And you can see I have a lot of tasks task pending and task past due, my submitted task, again, tasks that are flagged. And you can see the notifications I have off here to my right. If I go to the last page, I'll see certain transactions that are pending my approval. And earlier, we actually initiated a transfer for Brandon Myers. Now you're seeing it in the workflow, and I can go in and view, approve, or deny this request. I'm going to deny this request. Not ready for promotion yet, right? And I can send this back to the originator of that workflow. Again, in my action items and in this dashboard, I do see the workflows associated with any transaction event, as mentioned earlier in our presentation. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and now you start to see some additional meaningful data. So as an HR payroll leader, we're going to load up the system with some standard dashboards. We have over 50 standard dashboards within PeopleGuru, and many of these dashboards have drill down capabilities. So you can really get to the minute data that you would need to make a meaningful decision. Additionally, in our dashboards, all of these dashboards can be filtered accordingly, working off of real data. I can go even further and filter even in more detail. And then if I'm comfortable with my filters, I also can take this data and export it out to Excel. So though we deliver over 350 standard reports in PeopleGuru, pretty much anywhere I'm working, I can take the data set and export it out to an Excel format. Now, moving over to my left items, I've got my office where I have my administrative functions. And again, these functions can be automated with a quick shortcut. I've got my company level information, and then I have my employee data. As an HR leader, you would imagine that I have really unprecedented access to all kinds of HR data, payroll data, and time data. In the data records themselves, there is unlimited history records in any person record. So they go to Amy Adams here. We click on her record. We kind of see a snapshot of her personal data, HR, compensation, per assignment, timeline, etc. And again, in all of these items, there's a history tab up top, as well any attachments to this record would be visible to me here as well. In the master person record detail, I can filter and sort my data accordingly. I can create a filter, and you would often find in our cannabis clients that they may filter by company, for example. So I can always pick the company and get to the unique data. Incidentally, we can process multiple tax IDs that all reside in the same pay group under one payroll. But in our cannabis base of customers, it's not uncommon that all of the data is commingled, but I can filter the data accordingly by the different org structures. We mentioned that there's a plethora of additional data in here as well, but I'm going to move on and we can go over to HR events. So within PeopleGuru, we leverage what we call the gurus. The gurus are a series of steps that we would start by recommending as a best practice to hire folks, to rehire people, to maybe even terminate an individual. But these are incredibly configurable. So we'll work with your team to decide what should be in that checklist, and that way you have consistent processes. New hiring folks within PeopleGuru is quite simple. We can hire from a non-applicant, we can hire from an applicant, as well, we always have the ability to hire someone that has been onboarded, whether it be a self-onboarding or an assisted onboarding. And the system will just simply take you through the next steps in the process to ensure an accurate onboarding new hire experience. So again, we can hire folks that have come through the recruitment system of PeopleGuru or have completed their self-onboarding. And again, we have these gurus for almost every HR event that you can imagine. We have an onboarding dashboard, so as an HR leader, you will have full visibility to where folks are in the onboarding experience. You'll see whether they started or haven't started. And when they've completed their steps in their process, you can simply click on the hire and begin hiring this individual directly from their onboarding data. And this makes the process very clean and very slick. Just like the onboarding dashboard, we have a benefit enrollment dashboard. So if you are a benefit administrator or you have the responsibility of authorizing the benefits before we start to move data to the carriers, you'll have a full benefit enrollment dashboard. You can see pending, electing, those that have not started in their enrollment process. This really empowers you as a user to engage with your people to help them make appropriate healthcare decisions. So we offer that form of dashboard both in onboarding and benefits. Now let's move over a bit to payroll. So payroll processing really should be a non-event within PeopleGuru. If you've approved the time and you've done your checks and balances on the front end, processing payroll should be pretty simple. And we can use the Payroll Guru, which again, very similar to the new hire guru. It's a series of steps that you may deem as your best practice. Or I can come right over to the payroll processing wizard, pick the pay group, and start processing payroll. With PeopleGuru, you'll run gross to net on the fly. What the system's doing at this point is bringing together all my hours, all my overtime, all my shifts, all my PTO requests, any event changes. We are an effective dated system, so the system is looking for all of those effective dated changes. Another common report might be the processing report or the detail report. A simple click and I can get to that data. So let me launch that processing report, give you some visibility to what that might look like. And this is really giving most payroll leaders the data that they need to identify whether or not the payroll really looks good and balances out. You can go to the back end of the report and you'll see all your totals down at the bottom. So we always recommend that our clients take a look at the payroll processing report to ensure that their payroll is accurate. If I'm good with the data at this point, I simply go next. And the system will then once again alert me that I have some things that I should probably take a look at. But if I'm good with this, I put in my username and passcode and I just proceed, and that's how you finalize payroll. So really easy to process payroll with PeopleGuru. We put a lot of control back in the hands of our clients. And this is a battle-tested payroll engine. It's run payrolls for thousands of companies. Moving on from payroll, incidentally, all of this data will flow out to general ledger. Most of our clients have some form of a general ledger interface. Additionally, we do full ACA management, including the dashboards that will look at ACA rules on a pay period basis. Look at your look back periods, your stationary periods, and your ALE guidelines. As well, we do all of your year-end filing for ACA as well. And mentioning reporting, again, we have 350 plus standard reports. We organize those reports into appropriate categories, things like ad hoc, administration, ACA, finance, compliance, your monthly reports, your payroll data. There's over 72 unique payroll reports here, and they all pretty much run the same way. About 50% of these standard reports are point-in-time reporting. So if you haven't been able to get the data through outputs of Excel, your dashboards, or your 350 standard reports, we also deliver an ad hoc report writer analytics tool available as core to PeopleGuru HCM. And lastly, and we won't go deep into this today, but we do offer a full recruitment technology, allowing you to set up your recruitment processes, everything from your rating profiles to your workflows to your positions to actually setting up a requisition. So we do all of that here within the PeopleGuru platform. And the same concept with performance, leveraging a guru to help our clients establish their performance ratings, their talent profiles, and the template they're going to use to initiate a performance review. And then lastly, we do deliver a full salary administration tool for compensation management, which would afford you the opportunity to set up your salary reviews and initiate a salary review accordingly, and put that in the hands of your leaders and your team to make the appropriate recommendation based on some general parameters or some budget constraints. And that's core to PeopleGuru HCM. For our enterprise clients, these are typically our 150 plus employer-based customers. We do open up the system setup, and we will provide them access to their system notification engine, their workflows, and their tables that really drive the core application. But as always, PeopleGuru's AE team is there to support our clients through this process. So that's a summary of the PeopleGuru HCM solution from the eyes of a payroll HR administrator. And we'll then conclude here and answer some questions for you.
Okay, so our first question that we have that came in: if I share a dashboard with my managers, will they only see their direct reports?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. All of our security protocols and security setup permeates throughout all of reporting within PeopleGuru. So if I have a specific dashboard that might have been set up from an admin role or a management role, that dashboard would only show me the data appropriate on my people.
Okay. Next question. I heard a bit about employee onboarding capabilities and termination, but is there an area in the system to keep digital records or documents related to when an employee voluntarily resigns from a company?
Oh, yeah. So in addition to kind of your core documents for onboarding, which is your tax documents, your W-4s, et cetera, really any document, any form of communication that is either initiated from an employee or you initiate it to your people in an HR event can be an automated e-doc. So whether it be a disciplinary event, whether it be a change of rate pay, a change to a handbook, whatever that might be, our technology is delivered with that capability to do just what you were referring to in that question. So that's a really good question. So e-documents are not just limited to onboarding. Really, we can take any document and convert it to an e-document and attach it to an HR event of some sort. Fantastic question.
Okay. Next question. Is there a limit to the number of companies that I can have in the system?
No, absolutely not. So as mentioned a little earlier, most of our cannabis clients have multiple tax IDs, multiple tax structures. And that really gives us the ability to serve those clients very well. So the answer is no, there's no limit to the number of companies that you can have. How we set that up organizationally, security, et cetera, user experience, do I have different career pages? Do I have different login images? All of that can be configured on the back end with PeopleGuru, but we have no limit to the number of companies. We can run them all in one shell as well, so you have cross-access reporting. That's typically why we would be asked that question.
Next question we have, is there a mechanism for employees to submit suggestions for improvement to management or even submit employee complaints?
Yeah, so through our social platform, we do have the ability to initiate surveys. And as well, we can open up that same technology for employees to provide feedback up the ranks to their managers and supervisors. So we do see our clients leveraging the technology for that very purpose. So the answer is yes, for sure.
Okay, and a follow-up question on that is, can this be done anonymously?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know the answer on that, so we're gonna have to park a lot that. I don't believe they're necessarily anonymous, so I'd have to look into that. We'd have to post that back, and we can communicate that within the channel. Great question, though.
All right, next question. We update our
You
handbook.
stumped me, Allie, you stumped me.
I know. Next question we have here is, we update our handbook every year. Can I use signature for the updates every year, or is that only available during onboarding?
No, it absolutely can be utilized as those handbooks are updated. Those documents can be reinitiated to require signature. In fact, we have the ability to lock people out from punching in and punching out if they haven't taken specific actions. So we'll see that on consent forms, often biometric consents, things that employees must approve and sign off on before they can be paid. We leverage that same technology within PeopleGuru to do so. So the answer is yes, we can initiate a new handbook and require everybody to sign it, but as well, we can take it to a next layer and actually lock people out from recording their time if it's that critical for you.
Okay, and I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. So we'll go with this one. Can you process payroll in all 50 states?
Yes, ma'am. So we process payroll across all 50 states. And we have clients really across the country. Though we're a Tampa, Florida-based company, the majority of our clients are spread throughout the East Coast, Central, and West. We have actually fewer clients in Florida than we do in certain areas of the country, interesting enough.
Okay, and we'll do one more. This one's about reporting. Does your support team help with the reports?
Yes. So your account executive, that would be the person that you would engage with to assist you in creating a report. Today, if it's kind of a normal report, basically day in the life of, our service team is equipped to support that for you. And we do not actually charge our clients for that feature as well. If it's something incredibly complex and requires hours of work, then we might engage in a professional services arrangement. But our account executives and strategic account gurus are trained on ad hoc reporting, and they're encouraged to assist our clients through the creation of those.
Okay, and I think that'll do it. We have one more poll to launch here.
Excellent. Great questions.
All right, and this one is, have you or someone that you know in the cannabis industry been dropped by their payroll partner?
Perfect. I think this should be an easy question for all the audience members to answer. So let's try and get 100% participation from everybody here. Let's get a few more, 1 to 2 more, get them in there. All right, there we go, over 76%. Okay, perfect. I'm going to end the poll and then share it for you to review, Allie.
Okay, so this is a common thing in the cannabis industry. We see a lot of the big service bureaus dropping their cannabis clients and coming to PeopleGuru because that's what we specialize in. So hopefully maybe things will be changing with the legislation, but until then, we continue to see cannabis clients come over to PeopleGuru. So I want to thank everybody again for joining us today. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, NCIA. We hope that you found this presentation informative, and we look forward to helping cannabis companies across the United States.
Fantastic. Well, huge thanks to you and everybody else at the PeopleGuru Cannabiz team, Allie and Steve. Thank you all so much for all your hard work and preparation for today's panel with our team over the last few weeks. I hope that all of your potential clients and all those that surely will see this in the future weeks and months to come over the rest of the year will find this incredibly valuable. Really appreciate you all providing such an in-depth overview of your all service solution information. And I really think that it is a great opportunity for a lot of mid-market companies among NCIA's membership network. So excited to help. Excited to help spread the word about your all solution over the next few months. Over the next few minutes, as always, we're going to close out today's program by leaving all of you all with an end of event credit sequence. So feel free to stick around for the next few minutes if you have any additional questions, comments, or concerns that you want to discuss with Ali or Steve directly. Feel free to directly message them, as I've seen a number of you all doing throughout today's program, or post inside the chat room. From there, we'll pick up the conversation inside of that Slack channel that I mentioned at the top of the hour. So make sure to hop back over to that shared Slack channel over the next 72 hours. We'll continue the conversation with that outstanding question that Ali posed to Steve regarding the anonymity ability for some of the reporting and surveying to be done within the platform. And then any additional questions that might come to your all's mind from here on out over the next few days, feel free to continue and carry on the conversation by posing those inside of our Slack channel. All right. And with that, thank you all so much, as always, for participating in another NCIA Industry Essentials educational webinar. Huge thank you once again to all of our members of our panel from PeopleGuru Cannabiz for presenting today's session, along with all of our amazing interactive and engaged audience members, and of course, our member businesses, which make our work possible each and every day. You'll be redirected to a short 5-question attendee survey after the meeting room closes. Please do complete that, as it'll be the quickest way to gain immediate access to all of our materials and multimedia associated with today's presentation. Do note, all NCIA members will receive exclusive receive exclusive 30-day access to all the formatted video recordings from our webinars first posted in our members only community, NCIA Connect. So after the Slack channel closes up later this week, do make sure to join NCIA if you're one of the few non-members within the room, so that you can carry on the conversation surrounding today's program directly with our thousands of NCIA members inside of NCIA Connect. As always, we'll leave you all with this end of event credit sequence highlighting the 40+ member businesses that participated in this afternoon's session, alongside some lo-fi audio stylings by yours truly. If you don't see your company included, that just means that you need to head to the cannabisindustry.org/join following today's program to join the movement for a responsible and equitable cannabis industry. Enjoy, and we hopefully will see you all again next week for our monthly fireside chats with NCIA's government relations team underneath of our NCIA Industry Essentials educational webinar program. Good luck. See you all then.